Jacko. Hopefully it didn't cut out. I was saying that. Or part of it wasn't. Serious. So I have about 20% of the world left, which is around I have like 10 million blocks left, somewhere around there, like 9, 10 million. And for how long it's gonna take, probably around either, I'd say around mid-February to mid-February to maybe early March, roughly. Somewhere around there. expected. What's up, Jesse? What's up, Upernix? Sometimes I do. I don't know why. I just kind of randomly do it, but sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's pretty random. I don't always. I think after a certain point I put on music, but usually I don't do it without music. Or I do it with music, I mean, god dang it. I do it without music most of the time, but there are some times where I do it with music. Especially if I'm tired. If I'm not that tired, then I'll do it without music. Usually if I'm tired though, I'll do it with music. Because this project kind of sucks for, kind of sucks when being tired, not gonna lie. It's kind of weird. You would think it wouldn't be that bad, but it's like, it's almost like driving when you're tired. Like that level of like, what's it called? That type of level of, interaction, I guess. Except less, honestly. Seems like a weird comparison, but in terms of like, at least driving, you at least are slightly more active, when you're doing things. You're not just moving your fingers 2 centimeters every... Oh, you're delivery. Just driving on the highway or something like that, man, though. Something like that. I mean, city driving's at least kind of okay, but dang, highway driving just... It's kind of sad that I even have to make that comparison, but... I mean, it's kind of a thing. I think the crazy part about this, like this view distance is this is 22 block. Or 22 chunk render distance. And it doesn't even come close to the edge of this world. I can't even imagine if you went on Java or something like that that had a 12 block render distance. Or, I mean, it depends on what version and if you have like Optifine or something like that running, but usually it's like recommended 12, so if you use the standard render distance. You can't even see. there's gonna get to the point where I can actually stand in one spot of the world and never see a single thing. I'm pretty sure I can get to that point. I think after this section I'll actually be able to do that. Where I can literally stand in one spot and there should be literally nothing in my sight, in my render distance. That's never happened in this world until maybe after this section. Because you need at least a 44 block radius, I think. Yeah, 20, no, it's 22 blocks. So it'd be, yeah, 44 block diameter at least. I'm pretty sure. Except Daisy or Days, I don't know. I think of Daisy, it's like Days looks like Daisy, like the game, but I don't know. But probably finish around February, mid-February to early March. It's my projection, at least at the rate that I'm going. I'd say the absolute latest is mid 2022. That's the absolute latest. If I don't finish by that time, I don't know what's happening. Either I dropped it for like several months to do other things or something like that, or something. That's the only reason I'd be finishing by that time. I don't know. The only reason I referenced it is because one of my friends actually mentioned it. I probably wouldn't have mentioned it if one of my friends didn't say something about it like a few days ago. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing the nether in the end. They're gonna be really fun and really annoying simultaneously, but many people are gonna enjoy the nether. Let me just tell you that much. Watching me fall into lava 100 times over, if not more, honestly. Fortunately, I'll be on peaceful at that time. I'm not doing this project, even to the slightest Thank you, Kim Jong-un, for subscribing. It's much appreciated. What's up, Kim Jong-un? Mainly the mobs. The lava's kind of a secondary thing, but it's mainly the mobs. Actually, it's like 90% mobs. It's just gonna help with the lava because of regeneration. I could probably deal with the lava on a different difficulty, but I just not dealing with those mobs. It's at least easier than the like if I like the difference at least the if I switch to easy on the overworld versus the nether would be easier on another difficulty versus the overworld because it's a much smaller world, and I'm also gonna be covered a lot of the time by other like blocks. It's gonna be weird, but to be fair, I don't also want to get shot. I don't also want to be shot by a ghast when I'm placing sand down every single 5 seconds, because I'm gonna be in the open as well. So I'm either gonna be completely covered or very much in the open. So I'd rather not deal with gas or anything like that. It's also gonna be interesting because I'm gonna have to get rid of an entire nether fortress, which, to be fair, I've already slabbed an entire nether fortress before, so I already kind of know how big those nether fortresses are. Yes, I do. I love losing I love losing a torch every like 5 minutes. After the nether's gonna be the end, but I'm not too sure what I'll do after that. That's gonna be the thing I'm kind of figuring out. It's gonna depend on a lot. Honestly, the first factor I need to realize is how many people are gonna stay and if I'm actually gonna generate enough, people to stay to, keep this channel going. Realistically speaking. That's the first step I need to realize, and then the second step is figuring out what I actually want to do after this. Which I may have to depend on the community for that one, but I don't know. Because I know Minecraft is one of those really difficult niches to actually continue to grow in. But I think if I can grow into more of a content creator after some point, I think it would be good. Like, leverage this project for content, or not for content, but leverage, I mean, I could do that in some ways, but leverage the popularity of this community to create content. Basically create like a snowball of this, using this project in a way, sort of. I don't really know though. But considering how this, the first part of this, for the first blow up happened, oh god. I'm not too sure yet, but I mean, to be fair, it is a different type. It's gonna be a bit different, when I blew up towards the end. Not too sure though. Thank you, Burnout. It's definitely much appreciated that you actually, at least join the streams, over time. It's definitely pretty cool. Honestly, I didn't really expect, many people to join these streams. Now, I think I'm stepping into something that, I didn't think I would, maybe getting into something that I didn't think I would be getting into if I finish this, or when I finish this, or whatever. It could turn out like those artists that get so popular to the point where they like don't want to be seen by anybody, but I don't know if you've ever heard of those before. It's a very similar concept, I guess, or something like that. Where it's like they got so popular so quickly to the point where like they didn't even want to that they didn't really care for it, even though honestly I'm not too sure if that's a good mindset to have. 'Cause it seems a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. Of a mindset. It's like, okay, so you wanna make something, you wanna make like this small little game or whatever, but you don't want it to get big. Like, I know people don't care about fame, but there's also a point of not, like, if something gets famous, why would you ditch it because it is famous? It doesn't really make any sense. I've never really understood that mindset. Like, don't get me wrong, keeping things small like that, like keeping a small community, I mean, sure, it's okay, but like, actually, I think a good example is Flappy Bird, if I remember correctly. The creator of Flappy Bird or something like that got so famous they took down the app or something like that. It's really hard to find unique Minecraft content. Like, unless you've already gotten pretty big from Minecraft, you can't really use generic content to get big, which I don't know if it'd be worth it for me to do more like content based on Minecraft or whatever, but almost, here's a good example is IBX Toolkit. He's a very general content creator, like does challenges, has a let's play going, does update videos, stuff like that. Like, unless, like, those will never get big, at least for anybody who creates one. Unless you could somehow, like, make a twist on it. I don't know what you would do, but it's a good example. I think it was Flappy Bird, actually. It got so big that the creator of it just deleted the app or took it off the store or something like that because they didn't want it to get big, which I still don't understand that logic. Oh wait, no, I know why. It's because it was getting sent like threats or whatever. I think so, yeah, because the game was so difficult they sent like death threats and stuff like that. But to be fair, that's one of the, it's kind of, it's a little bit of an outlier, but I mean, does he really? That's kind of insane, actually. Yeah, Let's Play is our, like, it's more of a small thing he does, though. It's not really, like, one thing he does. That's actually the kind of the good thing about IBX Toolkit, is just he's so general. He can just kind of move in whatever. he can move. He can just get a collection of views. So like, he is a little bit for everybody, I guess, is a good way to say it. To be fair, Let's Plays just in general on any game are kind of dying. Anyway, I would think a community that hasn't really died too far, like builders and redstone engineers and stuff like that, like the bigger channel redstone channels. Those channels haven't really fallen off at all, honestly. That takes a ton of commitment. I want to do something like that. Even if you're even interested in redstone stuff, which I'm not personally, but I could definitely get into it if I really wanted to, but I don't really want to invest that much time into this game. At least not that much time. What's up, Maverick? So thank you as well. What was I just watching? When you know when there's already lag in this world for some reason, I still don't know what's making it lag. Um, is it really the base? I don't think it. Yeah, you can't even see the base. It's already laggy, but when you combine it with torches breaking sand, it gets a little bit crazy. What's up, Trevor? I can miss torches, many torches, because I don't have the accuracy on console that I do on a mouse. I just recently started not started, but I like tried insta mining on PC, and oh my god, it's so much better. Let me just tell you. Because the level of control you get with the mouse versus the controller is absolutely absurd, just over time. And you can't use a keyboard on this version. I've already tried. It's only Bedrock that you can do that on. Unless somehow Xbox supports it, but I don't I don't think the Xbox Legacy is different in terms of support versus the PS4 version, but so I feel like I do really well sometimes, but really badly with torches. It's like there's no in between. I either miss them a lot or I miss them almost none. To be fair, Minecraft didn't even come out till 2012. I think it was like June something, June 20 something. I don't know, was it May or June, something like that. And I only know that because Sword King started his Operation Bedrock series a month after, or roughly a month after, I think, of when Xbox 360 version came out. I kind of wish I started this project like more in the peak of the console edition, but at the same time, I would have almost taken Sword King's spotlight and his motivation with him. Or I would have taken his spotlight and his motivation with me, basically, at that time. So I think I started this project at a good time, because I didn't want to, like... The only reason I started this was because he was going slow, but before that he was actually going pretty fast. for this project. Like, he was actually making pretty good work of it. Not as good as you would think, but I mean, especially if you compare to the percentage of the world that he actually mined out, which was around 15%, I think, something like that. It's really close to 15. It's like 14, 15%. Well, Minecraft on the Xbox 360 came out in 2012. I'm very certain on that. Like, actually getting on Xbox 360. Now on PC it's different. I mean, that version went through multiple iterations before actually officially coming out. But Xbox 360 came out about in, I think, mid 2012. Unfortunately, I wasn't really like into Minecraft. Well, I was kinda. I was into the Pocket Edition at that time, so I wasn't really into console. I think it's because I had a PS3 at the time and I couldn't really play Minecraft until the PS3 came out, which was 2013, I think. Or was it 2014? I don't remember. What's up, editing? You're turning 18 in 20 minutes. Well, I guess, happy early birthday, I guess. I don't know. Or I should wait 20 minutes, I have no idea. Yeah, it's a bit weird. But, it's like, if I started in like, if I started the project, say, in like 2015, uh, if I would have started by that point, I probably would have taken all of Sword King's motivation and his, not fame, but like his, just recognition for doing the project, or even starting the project in the first place, kind of with him, or with me. He did get quite a bit of recognition though from IBX2Cat when he made this video on how long it takes to destroy an entire Minecraft world. I think he made a video dedicated just for that project. Or not to the project, to Sword King's world. I don't remember if it was for like the project. I mean, it was for the project itself, but it was like a showcase, I guess, for the project. Because that's when it was probably the most relevant. What's up, Carter? Like, that was probably when the console edition was the most relevant between, let's say, 2013 and 2016. You could argue that's also the kind of the biggest mainstream media of Minecraft was probably between like 2012 and 2016. You could argue the biggest mainstream portion of Minecraft, which is a long time. It's just I would say, I mean, people would consider it the peak of those years specifically. I mean, I know it technically hasn't been dying off because of weird perceptions within media and stuff like that make it seem like it's dying off more than it actually is, but it really isn't. course, it has to be flint. Like, the few pieces I actually break off, it has to be flint. Honestly, it's, at this point, it's kind of just, the motivation at this point is finishing the project itself. Like, for example, somebody's motivation to run would be to get, somebody's, motivation to run, for example, is to compete until they get to the end. Now, then it's more like finishing the race. It's kind of like that, but slightly different. To be fair, motivation is kind of weird, I've noticed, when it comes to long-term projects like this. Usually it's like, honestly, I think the reason why people can't do, usually, I don't say can't do them, but like don't usually do these projects is it's kinda, I mean, it is pretty difficult, but to do a project this long and focus on it. But I think people focus too much on like thinking about a motivation about something than actually doing the thing, if that makes sense. Like, okay, so for example, like if you wanted to get healthier, you would think, okay, my goal is to, my motivation to get healthier is to have a healthier lifestyle. But if you constantly thought about getting a healthier lifestyle instead of actually getting the healthier lifestyle and working on it, putting the effort into it, then it's gonna be much more difficult than just saying, okay, I want to get a healthier, I want to get in physical shape, or I want to get a healthier lifestyle in general. That's my goal. Now just do the goal, figure out how to get to it instead of figuring out, it's a really hard thing to explain, but it's like people focus too much on the motivation to do something versus actually doing the actual goal in the first place. Which is an interesting thing that, which is the reason why many people, this is why dieting is so hard for people, is because of this focusing on it's like, what's your motivation to get healthier? It's like to get healthier, to get what's your motivation to dieting? It's like to get healthier. Or not your motivation. Yeah, your motivation is to improve I guess physical health. I don't really know. I don't even know what a really good motivation. I guess look better. Look better physically is a good motivation for dieting. And actually, let's just go with the simple one, losing weight. So like if somebody had a goal of looking better and their motivation or Oh god. If their goal was to look better. It's kind of hard to explain this actually, but if their goal is to look better, then or not look better, was to eat healthier, and their motivation was to, I guess, look better. I don't really know. This is a very difficult thing to explain, but it's like people focus too much on the motivation to do something versus the actual like work it putting in the work to actually do that motivation to fulfill the goal itself. Like if I just focus completely on my motivation, then it just won't do anything. Motivation isn't as powerful as people think. It's a very, very short-term thing. It's like, sure, you can have that initial motivation, but you might as well just start putting in the work before, just put in the work, and you'll be fine. I'm just saying this right now, if I didn't, like, if I focused too much on my motivation, this project would not be happening at all. What's up, Reagan? Mustard. Oh, here's a good one. Like a self-taught programmer, for example. So, like, your goal is to become a self-taught programmer, and your motivation is money. But if you just focused on the money, you wouldn't get anything done. That's a way better example. There's probably other motivations, but if you just focus too much on the motivations themselves, then you just won't get anywhere. I'm not gonna be mining out the Bedrock. That's gonna take way too long to do. You have no idea how much Bedrock actually there is in this world. With the glitches, even with the glitches, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, with the glitches, it takes a while, and unless there's a fast way to get rid of it, I don't think it's gonna be even reasonably doable. Alright, see you, Carter. I think my problem a long time ago, or with just doing things in general, is I never really had much motivation to do things. Because somebody's psychological type, I guess you could say, really determines not just mindset, but your motivation to do certain things. Because it's your psychological needs which motivate you in a way. But you're gonna have to, the hardest thing for anybody to do is to ignore their psychological needs. Seriously, like, it's way more difficult than people realize. People don't even realize they really realistically have psychological needs that they can't really ignore that much. At least over periods of time. 5 million years. I mean, there are glitches that you can do, but I think even with the glitches, it's still gonna take. I think it's gonna take longer than just the actual project itself, which is kind of funny. Because there's at least a minimum of 750,000 bedrock in this world, minimum, absolute minimum. Which if you can only get rid of one bedrock block per like glitch or whatever, I can't even imagine trying to do it 700, at least a minimum of 750,000 times over. Didn't they just get rid of 1,000 by 1,000 area in general? Like just, it was 1,000 by 1,000 area. I don't think that, I've never seen them get rid of bedrock. I've only seen them just get rid of huge chunks of area. Like huge, areas of land. Which I'm gonna say 1,000 by 1,000 is absolutely insane, but I mean to be fair, there are several people on that project, or on that server with automated machines, so I mean it makes a lot of sense why they're able to clear. When you have that many people combined with automation, it gets pretty ridiculous, honestly. I would think it actually is feasible to say that you can actually mine out a 10,000 by 10,000 with that level of, even using a 10,000 by 10,000 would be absolutely insane. I think a single person could do a 10,000 by 10,000 if you're dedicated enough to building machines. I don't know. I don't see any point in doing something like that, but I mean, I guess if you want to say you've destroyed the most blocks ever. They would recreate. They would be, they would recreate Skyblock in survival. To be fair, I'm almost creating a whole super flat world, so I mean... Can you imagine, like, doing that, like, without the... It took a whole year? That's kind of insane, actually. It's a lot of, that makes this even more insane, honestly. Just thinking about it. Did I accidentally put the... God dang it. That makes this even more insane. Just thinking about it. It's kind of funny how people say that, like, you just use a TNT duper, but if it still takes that long to use a TNT duper on a world like that, this isn't actually, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still significantly slower, but it's not as slow as, people would think about it. If that takes an entire year to mine 1,000 by 1,000 with automated machines, frogs are pretty cool. I think one of my favorite types of frogs is the poison dart frog. It's a pretty cool frog. Can you imagine if I um spent all this time just building TNT dupers, how much I could have, or spending mining or using TNT dupers, how much I could have mined. But at the same time, it's like it's less satisfying personally. I mean, people don't realize the scaling of this project. Like say, for example, a 256 by 256. You would think, okay, that's a lot of blocks, but when you consider it's only a tenth of what I'm having to mine, then it starts to get a little bit less. It gets a little bit more insane when you think about it. So people would think of 100 by 100 a lot, but when you consider it's only like 80th, I think, an 80th of this world, it gets kind of ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty sure it's an 80th. It's like 640,000 blocks for a 100 by 100. Or roughly around that amount. That also depends on the top layers and if it's top layers or if it's top heavy with the layers or whatever. Yeah, it gets kind of ridiculous when you consider how much more it is. Like a 400 by 400, so roughly 10 million blocks, versus a 200 by 200, which is like 4 million. It just gets significantly more insane, and then you get an 800 by 800. And just the amount of time it takes. Like this project, I think if you mine everything, I think reasonably, I would say you could finish this entire thing in 3,000 hours, I could round it to like 3,200 hours, honestly, between that number, which takes about 4 times as long as, say, going to the Farlands, or if you wanted to you could walk across an entire Minecraft world before finishing this project, I'm pretty sure. Like, in its entirety, walk across it. To be fair though, I kind of knew how long this project was gonna take. I planned 4 years in advance, I'm not kidding, for this project. I won't say for this project, but just like mentally I knew how long, 4 years, roughly. Like, I'm not kidding, I, like, planned on knowing how long it took, like, 4 years. It's, like, average 1 million blocks per month, and that's pretty much what I've kept almost this entire time. Even after all these insane grindy hours, sometimes, I still have an average of about 1 million blocks per month. Almost. I think I'm a little bit less now because of, just the sheer amount of breaks I've actually taken from this project for doing other things. I could have probably finished this project within like 6 months earlier if I didn't take as many breaks, but I mean, those breaks were pretty useful in a lot of areas. They weren't like meaningless types of breaks. I mean, there was one that was kind of, I think the longest break I've ever taken from this project was 3 months. I still can't believe it takes that long to get rid of 1,000 by 1,000 area with TNT automation. It's actually pretty insane to think about, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it would take that long for TNT automation. I thought that'd be like a couple week project. I mean, I know I'm probably underestimating how big 1,000 by 1,000 area is. It's like 60 million blocks or something like that. Which, to be fair, I thought about actually mining a small world at one point, which would be 1,000 by 1,000 area. It's basically a level, what is that, a level 3 map? Something like that. But there's kind of no point in that since the entire project is based around a classic size world. It's actually kind of insane to think of how expansive a 800 by 800 area is. I remember me and my friend making a tunnel, and mining tunnel, and it felt like an eternity, us just making one tunnel. But the fact that we didn't even, like, the tunnel wasn't even long enough to go across the entire world was kind of, or not the entire world, the entire classic size world size. It's pretty ridiculous to me, honestly. Kinda mind-blowing slightly. Even to somebody who's already mining it, it's pretty mind-blowing. I think it's funny that every single section that I mine, I'm mining half old world. Okay, so John, for some reason I can't connect to the server. So one of the things, like I just can't connect to anything, like for some reason on Minecraft. And another thing is, I don't think keep inventory. I don't know if it was a glitch or something like that that happened on the server. I don't know if I still don't have my stuff back or not. I can't really check. But I technically did, but the problem is when I went to keep inventory, like I basically died in the end. And then when I broke my bed and basically SD'd in the lava, uh, somehow I didn't have any of my stuff when I respawned. I'm gonna try it again real fast, but am I missing something, or are we on a different version or something? Am I missing? I don't know what's happening. Like, are we on a different version of the game? Missing something with our server. Did the server change or something? What do you mean it was turned off? When did he turn it off? He left before he turned it off. It was that night you guys left. It was the night of the end. When did he turn it off? Like, it was on when I jumped off the end. And then when I died in the lava, after I broke my bed, I somehow didn't have any of my stuff. Like, literally within seconds of jumping off the end, I broke my bed, went into the lava, took off my armor. Also, for some reason, I can't do anything on multiplayer for some reason. Like, it just won't connect to anything. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I literally can't connect. But it could have been a glitch. It could have been a visual thing or something. Maybe not visual, but like, maybe if I come back to the server, all my stuff will be there. But hopefully, my stuff will be there. Hoping, because I don't want to lose 19 ancient debris, 68 levels. I hope it's just a glitch and it restores it back when I come back, if I can ever get back on again. I'm gonna check something. Oh, it's on hard now. That's gonna be actually very useful for what's it called? For the XP farm. It's always been pretty easy to repair pickaxes with that XP farm, but it's gonna be even easier. How do I have... I don't have any... I can't even check my stream quality. Holy Jesus, how much did you mine? What did you get 33 ancient debris for anyway? More pickaxes or something? You could literally give somebody a full set of armor and tools. With that level of, with that many ancient debris. Or pretty close to it, I would think. Oh, you did. That's actually pretty nice. If I can ever join again, that'd be handy. Now, after this, so after I get, like, max everything, I have no clue what I'm gonna do. I'm either just gonna... yeah, I have no clue what I'm gonna do. I guess get more beacons. Maybe make an iron farm or something like that. If I actually invest enough time into that game to actually, or into that server. Because that's the only thing I can think about doing is literally just making farms. It's like, sure, I can make structures, but that's kind of boring personally. I mean, I guess I can make a new base, or make my own base. That's a lot of ancient debris, though. Imagine how long it took me to get 20 pieces, or 19 pieces. I mean, to be fair, somebody did get a full netherite beacon in 50 hours, so I mean, I guess 33 ancient debris isn't actually that much. I think I'm missing something here with the updates or whatever. Also, for some reason, I can't check the stream quality. Like, it doesn't show me. Oh, there it is, yeah. Hello, I dropped 0.1 frame, 1.1% of frames. Is it really that much better? That's kind of insane. That explains why Ian got so much. Why did we go on 12 anyway? Like, there was like no point in going on 12. 15 was better. I'm trying to think about why. I don't really know why. It was just kind of funny. I dropped 0.1% frames the entire time. I don't know when I dropped frames, but apparently I did at one point. Just getting rid of all this sand, which, I mean, it shouldn't take that here, or, yeah, it shouldn't take that long. This is probably the most satisfying part, besides maybe the sponging part itself, but this is probably the second most actually, I'd say sponging is pretty equally satisfying to this, because you get to see the entire thing completely drained after. I'd say sponging, each portion of the sponging is equally satisfying as each other. I'm sorry, Kaden. I don't know if you left or not. I didn't even see your comment for some reason. I don't know how I didn't even see your comment. I guess I was doing something, but I somehow completely missed your comment, or all your comments actually for some reason. But, it's a bit weird. That slightly scared me. I'm on the 1.18 snapshot. I'm looking if I can actually even... Did I just lose y'all's server for some reason? Did I just lose the server, like, entirely for some reason? Because I did something on my computer earlier, and I messed up some files, but it shouldn't mess up my internet, like, the way where I'm able to access servers, which doesn't make any sense. So I may need to rejoin the server. I should have all my stuff, because it's the same account. But, I may have to just rejoin your server. Maybe. Because it just won't let me connect for some reason. What's up, Varther? I can help. I forgot, we still have to find a woodland mansion and a, ocean monument. Like, I just can't connect to anything, though. Like, actually anything. Hypixel, nothing. So I used to have Hypixel for some reason on one of my servers, for some reason, a long time ago. I don't know what's happening, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just can't connect to anything. Like, multiplayer it's an infinite loop. For some reason. So, Raffy. Oh, the water's extra cold, holy Jesus. I don't remember it being that cold earlier. I swear, this house is really cold without any heater. People don't realize how good a heater actually works until you don't have one. Seriously, like, everything is freezing. I can't wait till it gets, like, even way colder. It can get way colder than it is right now. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like. So, I don't think it has anything to do with the server. It's something I did with the... Oh, yeah. It's gonna be great for XP, though, for the XP farm. I mean, to be fair, if I can actually get on and somehow I have all my stuff, then, hopefully. I have all my stuff. I can get max everything. I can just max out everything. All netherite armor and tools completely. Hard mode will be a pretty good breeze. And the XP farm will even be faster. I just need 6 mending, but no, 7 mending. I want at least an axe, at least 1 pickaxe, 1 axe, 1 shovel, and then all my armor. So 7 mending bolts. I think all we really need now for like resources is a few farms, or basically it's gold, iron, wither skulls, and probably some other farm, I don't know. That's really it, honestly, I would think. I'm not surprised you have a ton of them, I'm not gonna lie. Especially for 1 emerald. I've mined 2,000 something chunks. I could actually calculate it right now. Actually not a bad idea. I was thinking golden carrots, but also that's also not a bad idea. It's golden apples with farmers. Let's see. Okay, so I think I've mined around 2,300 chunks by this point. Somewhere around that number. After this, I would have mined over 2,500 chunks. like, even if I mined each chunk of this world in an hour, it would still take almost 3,000 hours. Let's see, that's not counting if it's like water or anything like that, though. That's... Each chunk is gonna take longer than an hour anyway, because of water and stuff like that. It's like, how many blocks have you mined? Oh, I've mined a good chunk. Finally mined a chunk in Minecraft. Which I would recommend if anybody who hasn't mined a chunk, I'd recommend mining it, because it's very satisfying, actually. I prefer, I recommend insta-mining, though, before you do it. And it's like, how many blocks do you mine? It's like, oh, I finally mined a chunk. How many blocks have you mined? Oh, I've mined 2,000 chunks. It's like, oh. Okay. It's like, can you even, like, comprehend that number? It's like, or comprehend the amount of blocks? Like, probably not. I mean, can't really comprehend that many blocks, to be perfectly honest with you that well. I mean, I can't really think of any real comparisons of 2,000 chunks of blocks. I don't really have a favorite food in, wait, okay, so wait, favorite food in real life or in Minecraft? Because, we were just talking about Minecraft food, I'm just making sure, we aren't talking about two different... That's pretty cool. 100 chunks, what is that, like, a million something blocks? It's like just over a million blocks, I think. Oh, it's quite a bit over. It's 1.6 million, roughly. If you're at Y level 64, though. It could be up to 2 million, depending on how many what types of chunks you mine. So between 1.5 and 2 million. A chunk is 16 by 16 in every version, I'm pretty sure. In this game. Can you wait? How many blocks did you actually mine in that 100 by 100? Oh, sorry, no, 100 chunks. How many blocks did you mine? It should show you at least very accurate results. At least stone, at least count for stone, because stone is like the majority of it anyway, so. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with deep slate on this world, my god. Deep slate is like the bane of my existence. It's pretty annoying when you have to deal with when you're insta mining stone and then you run into this giant patch of I mean, don't you have statistics on Java? On your world? Because it's Java. Just add up all the numbers. Or add up all those blocks that you might, or at least look at the stone number. I mean, you have statistics. And majority of your mining in that world should be that, unless you did more than that, but majority of it probably was in that 100 chunk area. It's terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, I've seen the warning, it's pretty terrifying. I'd probably stay pretty far away unless I had really, really good gear. Even with really good gear though, it's still kind of just clobbers you, even then. It's like, let's just make a mob so powerful that you can't even use brute force against it in a game. I mean, I guess if you, unless you had like an enchanted golden apple, but good luck getting those. Even then, I think you'd probably still die. Maybe. With an enchanted golden apple with full netherite protection for armor. That is extremely brutal. I think that's a one-hit. I think it's literally a one-hit kill without any armor. Like, legitimately just pop, you're dead. Pretty easily one-hit kill. I think even with iron armor, it may even be a one-hit kill. Because if you get two-shotted with netherite, I'm pretty sure iron is almost a one-hit kill. To be fair, iron armor is only good for like regular mobs, like creepers, skeletons. It's literally not good for anything else. Maybe the Ender Dragon, but even then, good luck. I guess unless you're speedrunning, but or you've killed the Ender Dragon hundreds of times, or maybe not hundreds, but like quite a few times, then I'm gonna enjoy Monday. Yeah, it's 1.6. I already did the math earlier. I'm gonna enjoy Monday because I'm literally only working for like an hour. It's kind of funny. I'm basically just cleaning up. I'm going there to clean up because there's this Thanksgiving party at like 6 or whatever. That's all I'm doing basically when I get up there, pretty much. Which I'm contemplating going there. I'm not too sure though. I kind of want to stream, but at the same time, there is food there as well, though. So. Free food. It's just gonna be really awkward, though, because, you know, social situations. Which, I mean, I can deal with, but it's like, oh, do I kind of want to, though? I was just saying, Operinix, just look at your statistics on the world, and you get a more accurate result. I'm only saying that because I just want to figure out your average per, average, I just want to figure out your average, blocks per chunk, which you can totally figure out if you figure out just the amount of stone at least. Yeah, like, I'm thinking about it. Like, I do like Thanksgiving food, so, I mean... I think it's kind of weird how people, like, think they don't like Thanksgiving food. They're literally generalizing all Thanksgiving food. Like, everything you serve at Thanksgiving, people don't like. It's like, you're seriously putting all of this food, all of these different types of food, and people have different traditions. There's no way you don't like at least one of those things. At least one of those things at Thanksgiving. But people always generalize when they don't like the food. It's like, oh, I don't like Thanksgiving food. It's like you're literally putting all like every tradition Thanksgiving wise in a box of how Thanksgiving is. It's it's basically like, I don't know where this food came from, like in terms of tradition wise, but it's basically just like, where did they get this food from actually? It's basically just food for Thanksgiving Day in the US that has like pumpkin pie, turkey, and those are probably the main two ones, let's be honest here. Those are probably the main foods that they serve, especially turkey for some reason. But there's other traditional foods that there is up there for Thanksgiving. But it's like, there's different traditions. There's like no way you can't just make something. You almost can make any traditional food as a Thanksgiving dish. So it's like, you either, and then people just put all of that, they box all of those foods or different traditions into one package, which is Thanksgiving. It's like, seriously. It's like, I know you don't like like turkey or, I don't know, cranberry sauce, if other people even serve cranberry sauce. It's like, you don't like, it's like, okay, you don't like turkey or pumpkin pie, but you know, there's like other foods that aren't just purely Thanksgiving food related. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't like actually serve it myself because that seems pretty expensive, and I don't know, I'd rather just go to another Thanksgiving if I needed to, or not needed to, but like for Thanksgiving food. So I mean, I'm having Thanksgiving here, but it's not really me that's serving it, so I have no idea, but it's like saying you don't like sweets. It's like you literally don't like anything ever that's has any form of sugar, not even like fruits or anything. It's like, people really need to think about the fact that they're putting all of these different foods or whatever, they're labeling all of these foods as one as just one food, basically, because it's like you're putting all of these foods into one label, but it's like you don't think there isn't a single food that you don't like that's sweet. And then it's like anytime you encounter something sweet, for example, you're gonna automatically just not like it, or at least pretend you don't like it because you say you don't like sweets. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's like when you say you don't like insert label, then good luck convincing anybody or being rational about it. But at the same time, it's like, it's not really the fact that I don't really like that people label like, don't get me wrong, it's like music. It's like, you don't like a genre, Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to like genres of music and stuff like that, like labeling like different genres of music, even though it's kind of difficult anyway. But I mean, sure, it's okay to not like a genre of something. It's just that, just don't disregard that entire genre. That's not. It's not really the problem of not liking it. It's more like the problem of disregarding that genre entirely. Like, for example, I'm not a really big fan of rap, but doesn't mean I won't listen to another song of rap ever again. It's just that I prefer not to listen. Does not mean that I'm not going to listen to it at all from another person. It's just that I'm not going to choose myself to listen to it. I have a friend that's very picky about food, but I don't think he denies it. I think he's very aware of how picky he actually is. I think he's pretty aware of it. It's like people need to just treat each food individually more than just labeling them into another group entirely because of the variety. Like, I mean, food is a bit different when it comes to genre of food, or not genre of food, but like just labeling food, I guess. I don't know. I guess you can consider it a genre of food, in a way. But, versus, say, music. Music is a bit different. I mean, unless you have, like, an overarching label of music, say EDM, because EDM covers a ton. Like, if you don't say you don't like EDM, there's probably one song you may like eventually. Because EDM covers a lot of songs or types and subgenres. It's kind of similar to the food. That's the only problem I have with like labeling different foods and not liking that label of foods, because it's like you can almost make, at least music, for example, has its own like set of standards, but say, for example, Thanksgiving, you could say mashed potatoes, it could be a dish for Thanksgiving. Because it's a person's tradition. It's more of a subjective based label of food. It's usually like a pre-notion of food. Or it just sounds disgusting in their head. That's pretty much usually from what I've seen, that's usually what what happens. It's like they imagine it in their heads because, you know, psychology and, I'm not gonna go into it, but there is a psychological reason for that, where that happens, but they imagine it in their heads, so they think about it. It's already disgusting to them thinking about it already. think I'll finish today, but I think I could finish by tomorrow. Or not, sorry, not tomorrow, the day after, because tomorrow's not a day I can't even do it anyway, so. I mean, I technically could. I would just have to wake up pretty early, but I mean, I get off work at like 11 at minimum. Usually like by midnight most of the time. Thank God I actually have another person working there with me. Fortunately. Sprinting. I feel like I'm going so slow in this world. I think it's just because the sheer amount of space that I've created. It just makes me feel so slow. Like usually when you're walking in a Minecraft world, you don't really feel like you're going that slow because of the amount of terrain that you're passing. But when you're not passing anything, you feel like a snail. It's crazy that just to increase to 1,000 by 1,000, I have to mine another 20 million blocks. It's like, yeah, no, I'll pass for that one. I think if I did go, that would be my absolute limit. If I actually went that, if I decided to do that at some point. could maybe start questioning. I'd have to spend another year though to even do that. And that's at quick speed. Like very quick speed. Whole entire year. That would be my absolute limit though. I would not mind any more than that. And also I'd have to deal with the nether in the end again as well, so by that point. Or I could just skip the nether in the end and just go to a small world and then do it. Wait a second. Okay. I'm gonna go and end the stream soon. I think I need to get a little bit more rest. I think. I'm not too sure though. Still trying to get better with sleep, but still not easy. I mean, I'm getting better at it. It's just I still think that I think I need to work on it a little bit more. Because it's like there's so many benefits. I mean, there's always benefits to getting better sleep, but at work specifically. First reason is I could just work faster. Um, due to actually having a good better psyche, or like more healthier transitions, I guess you could say. Healthier transitions. Another thing is it goes by quicker. I'm physically better and mentally better, and it also just goes by quicker. Yeah, that's actually what I'm kind of doing, is going to sleep by around 2. At least 2. I'm trying to get to the point where I can sleep around midnight. It's kind of hard to do though on weekends with my work, but at least by 12:30 I should at least start getting ready to go to sleep. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to at this point. I should probably just make it where as soon as I get home I go to sleep, instead of like trying to put off sleep for like a small period of time. Because that small period of time turns into a long period of time. And it's like, oh god, you didn't get any sleep, and then it's like big rip on that one. I don't know. I just need to stop putting off things, like, because it's like the one thing, one of our parts of our mind is literally telling us to stop putting off things and just do it instead of putting it off. I've gotten so much better at that though recently. But it's still kind of I'm still neglecting it, I guess. I'm neglecting it more than I should, let's go with that. I at least understand how much I'm neglecting it, so it's like at least the first step. It's almost like an addiction where it's like you have to at least admit that you have an addiction to something before you can actually stop it. It's kind of similar. It's like I need to admit how much I'm neglecting myself before I actually change it, because you can't really change anything until you admit it. Really. Like, you can't change your bad circumstances unless you realize how bad they actually are. This is why it's so hard for certain people to change, not only their mind, but just their social situations, for example. Is because they don't realize how bad their situation, how bad their, like, status is, for example. How they're coming off to people. They don't realize how bad they're coming off to people until, they actually admit to how bad they're actually coming off in the first place. Or somebody else tells them. This is why criticism is important. I don't know a single person who actually goes to sleep at 10. I'm not gonna lie. I think majority of people I know at least go to sleep by about midnight. I'd say, yeah, 11 at the earliest to probably like 2 a.m. if not later in some cases. I'd say at the latest at like 4. I mean, I can't even do that. I can't go to sleep at 10 until I get a new job. A different industry, I guess, because this industry is so volatile. I mean, even with the static schedule, because it goes off so like for example, if I go into web development, I'm gonna get a pretty stable 9 to 5. Very, very stable. It's like the most stable schedule you can possibly get. Besides maybe like other, like I think government jobs or something like that are even more stable, but I'm not too sure about that one yet. At least in terms of hours. I could be completely wrong on that. I just know they're stable in general. I just don't know if their hours are stable. I'm just trying to understand how, like, sleep affects me, and I never realized how horrible it actually affects me. How much it actually affects me. It affects me more than I think it would. I mean, it may not affect people as much as they think, but until they realize how, people don't realize how much sleep affects them short term until they get into something that's really difficult, but it's like, it actually wouldn't be as difficult of a task if you actually got sleep. Like, that's one of the weird things. People get so comfortable with sleep that, or not with sleep, but with, lack of sleep, that they don't realize how easy or difficult something actually is if they're not in their prime, or like just getting better sleep. Because it's like people think they could just get away without really having too much sleep when they can't use, psychologically, they can't really use what, they actually potentially can use, if that even makes sense. Like, they can't use their psychological potential, I guess is probably an okay way of saying it. Or they don't realize what their psychological potential is because of that lack of sleep. So they realize, okay, this is very difficult for me. But it's like, do you realize that, you may not, it may be difficult for you right now if you've actually got good sleep. It may not be that as difficult as you perceive it to be. It also changes your mindset as well as sleep does, so that also doesn't help. So it's like it changes you physically and it changes you mentally, a lack of sleep. To be fair, I've also heard that your brain literally eats you alive for lack of sleep anyway, which I have no clue how true that actually is, but apparently it's one of the studies. A study that I've seen. I'm definitely taking it with a grain of salt, but I have no clue. It's just like taking sleep for granted is just something I'm trying not to do, really. Like, it's okay staying up once in a while because your brain will adjust to some degree. Or as long as your sleep schedule is pretty stable, it can adjust back to your old schedule pretty easily. But the problem is if you try to change it too much, then it just won't become a schedule at that point. It's like being on call basically, like on work. That's basically what you're doing to your body. It's like, okay, you're gonna be on call. You're not actually, there's no stability. So you will sleep when you will be healthy when I say you're healthy, or you will sleep when I say you sleep type of thing. It's not really like, okay, we will sleep at this specific time. It's like treating your body as an employee in a way. It sounds really weird, but speaking of that, I'm gonna go on in the stream now. Um, I should definitely be able to finish this by Monday. I'm gonna be surprised if I don't finish this. Or if I stream Monday. Um, I should be able to at least finish the sand by next week, like almost guaranteed. I should have almost everything flattened by next week as well. That's my goal basically, is to flatten everything by next week, pretty much. But have everything flattened. I should be mining by the next week, not the next week after, but the next week after that. So yeah. Easy. The hard part is done with the water, so I mean, that's good. So